This lesson is about the distributive property, also sometimes called the distributive property of multiplication over addition. So let's talk about the word distribute. This is our buddy Jack, and he is asked by his teacher to distribute one playing card to each student. So he gives one card to the girl making a mess, one card to this guy, and one card to the girl who brought her pet to school for some reason. Distributing is about giving everybody the same amount of something. That applies to math here. In number 1, we are asked to distribute the 4 into the parentheses. This problem is read 4 times the quantity of x minus 7. Our job is to distribute the 4, which means we give that 4 to all the terms inside the parentheses. We do that with multiplication. So the first term is 4 times x. That's going to be 4x. Remember, a number next to a variable means to multiply. The second term, we want to actually treat this like it's a negative 7, and that's going to help us to simplify this. 4 times negative 7 gives us a negative number. That becomes our minus sign. And 4 times 7 gives us 28. Now, remember, this does not read as negative 28. When we read it all together, it says 4x minus 28. The next problem, I'm going to start you off. You're going to finish it up. First, we distribute the negative 5 into the parentheses. Well, negative 5 times 3m. A negative times a positive is a negative. 5 times 3 is 15. And we cannot forget to keep the m as the variable in that term. You're going to finish the rest of this for me. Remember, that's a positive 6, so we treat this as negative 5 times positive 6. A negative times a positive gets me a minus sign. You just finish up the 5 times 6. Final question of the easy ones is 1/2 times the quantity of 4m minus 8. Half of 4m, well, half of 4 is 2. Don't forget the m. Half of negative 8, well, a positive times a negative gets me a negative. That becomes my minus sign. Half of 8 is 4. So my simplified expression there is 2m minus 4. Let's see a word problem. Mr. Ito needs to buy batting helmets and batting gloves for the baseball team. The helmets he plans to buy are $19.95 each. The batting gloves are $7.95 each. Find the total cost if Mr. Ito needs to buy enough equipment for all 14 players on the team. Well, we're going to start off by figuring out how much he spends for one player. One player gets a helmet for $19.95. That's a pretty cheap helmet. If you play baseball, you know they get pretty expensive. One player also gets batting gloves for $7.95. And the amount spent on each individual player is now inside my parentheses. What we're going to do is we're going to put the 14 out here in front because we can multiply that entire amount by 14 to figure out how much he spends on all 14 players. This problem can be solved in 2 different ways. If you're 12, I want you to do the distributive property to solve this problem. If you are 13 or 14, I want you to follow the order of operations to solve this problem. Let's see if we get the same answer. Finish that for homework tonight. Last word problem for us says, every day Michelle stops at Dunkin' Donuts. I see a typo here. At Dunkin' Donuts to buy breakfast. She buys a donut for 89 cents and an iced coffee for $2.89. How much money will Michelle spend at Dunkin' Donuts after 1 week? I would like you to try to set this up as a distributive property problem. I want you to pay careful attention. It says that Michelle does this every day, and the question asks how much will she spend after 1 week. So we will have to convert weeks into days. Put her total in here for each day and the number of days out here. Then you can solve using the distributive property. We talked a lot about the distributive property today. There's a couple things you have to do for homework tonight. I want you to finish number 2. We started that together. I would like you to finish number 3. We did number 3. Number 3 you're good on. So finish number 2, finish number 4, finish number 5, and then do your Google form. Don't forget to update your notes and bring any questions you have tomorrow to class.